Hey guys, Dr. Josh Axe here. Welcome to Facebook Live, Ancient Medicine Today. I'm so excited you're here with me. I just got back from a great trip to New York, and on today's episode, and I'll share a few of those things with you about my trip and some of the health things, some health tips from the trip. But also, I want to take some time now and share with you the top 10 heart disease healing foods that are available today. So again, I want to talk about the top 10 healthy heart foods and supplements and even essential oils that you need to be getting in your diet on a daily basis. Also, I want to start off the show here saying hey to all of you that are watching. Take a minute right now. Let me know the city you're from, the state you're from, the country you're from. I want to give you a shout out right now here on Facebook Live. So I'll see who's joining me here in just a minute. Let me say this. There are millions of people struggling with their health. And as we know, that something that recently happened, Carrie Fisher just died of a heart attack or passed away from heart disease. And you know, she was only 60 years old. She was a star in Star Wars. In fact, my family and I watched The Force Awakens again last night and had a great time watching it, and very sad. But you know, one of the things that can happen, especially to celebrities and athletes and other people, as they travel and really put their heart into so many things, it can tend to be it can be very unhealthy, is the matter of fact. A lot of our jobs today that we have, sitting all day, traveling, these things are really hard on our body. And so I wanted to take some time today and talk about the top foods and supplements for helping heal your heart and heart disease. Did you know that heart disease is the number one, listen, heart disease is the number one killer in America today in terms of diseases. And so we've got to really support having healthy hearts our whole life. And I think that cancer is a more popular topic, digestive problems, hormone balance. But here's the truth. The number one disease issue today across America, North America, is heart disease. And so, hey, help me spread this message. Today I'm going to be going through essential oils, foods, and supplements that can help you and the ones you love heal heart disease. Take a minute right now, punch your share button, click your love button, help me spread the word. So I'm going to see who's joining me here. I know we've got many of you joining from all over the country and all over the world today. All right, we've got Jeanette Tomlin watching in Bakersfield, California. Hey, Jeanette, thanks for joining me here today. We've got Jane Torville watching in Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, Jane, thanks for joining me here today. We've got Rhonda McClendon watching from Lancaster, California. Samaj Brant watching from Boise, Idaho. We have Nancy Hoytema watching from BC, Canada. Hey, Nancy, thanks for joining me here today. We've got Carol Percy watching from Little Rock, Arkansas. Kim Kwazak watching from Atlanta, Georgia. Lillian Cruz watching from Puerto Rico. Hey Lillian, thanks for joining me here today. Clarissa Urena watching from North Carolina. Nikki Ruzick watching from Wyoming. And Lauren Jeffcoat watching from Surfside Beach, South Carolina. Hey, thanks for joining me here today. So guys, I'm going to dive right in and start talking about these top foods and supplements to heal your heart. Now let me say this. Your heart is responsible for so many things. And if you're a person especially who struggles with anxiety, anxiety can be lead to and actually be related to heart disease related conditions. If you're somebody with high cholesterol, this is for you. High blood pressure, lack of energy. If you want to be better at athletics and endurance, if you want to be better at recovery, then all of these tips today are absolutely going to help you look and feel your absolute best. And I'll say this. There's a big myth out there that cholesterol causes heart disease. I'm here to tell you today that high cholesterol does not cause heart disease. High cholesterol is a symptom. High blood pressure, that's a symptom. If you want to heal heart disease, if you want to heal cholesterol, here's the key. For high cholesterol, you've got to reduce inflammation. Think about it. Inflammation in your arteries. When you have inflammation in a place, your body keeps sending cholesterol there. Cholesterol is like your body's plaster. Okay, imagine you punched a hole in the wall. There's a big hole in the wall. Well, you need to patch that up, right? With some plaster, you need to smooth it out. What happens in our bodies when you have inflammation in your arteries? Your liver starts producing cholesterol, and to go and patch and repair that site. If that cholesterol continues to lay down over time, it can become oxidized and literally cause scarring of your arteries. So imagine a scar in your skin. You can actually get scarring in your arterial walls. Now here's the good news. You can reduce inflammation, and there are actually some foods and supplements that can start removing plaque. Imagine something going through like a sweeper and sweeping out and clearing out, sort of like the pipes. If you have gunk of those in your house, you can put in some, very acidic or alkaline substance and sort of clear it out. You can do that same thing in your arteries and getting rid of cholesterol. So again, remember this, high cholesterol is caused by inflammation in the body. So eating anti-inflammatory foods and supplements is the key to curing high cholesterol and heart disease. And another thing that's oftentimes related is high blood pressure. High blood pressure is typically caused by arterial restriction. When your arteries start getting too tight, start getting enclosed, a big thing that causes that is emotional stress as well as nutritional deficiencies. Okay, so arterial stress, nutritional deficiencies, those are the biggest things that really start to cause high blood pressure levels. So the good news is I'm going to jump in right now and talk to you about the top ways to naturally prevent heart disease and heal your body fast. And as I mentioned, help me spread this message right now. Take a second, punch that share button. We are live. Let's help spread the word and get people on this live training as I go through this. All right, guys, let's jump right in. Number one superfood to help heal heart disease is garlic. Now, garlic, I know we all don't love the way it makes people's breath smell. I know that garlic, for some people, it doesn't have the best odor, but in general, that odor coming off garlic, that's sulfur, okay? Sulfur-containing compounds help naturally clear out plaquing and cholesterol from your arteries. Also, it's high in a compound called allium or allicin, and allicin is antimicrobial in nature. It actually helps kill off bad bacteria, parasites, funguses, and it's even an antiviral. That's why when you come down with a cold or flu, they'll also tell you to get a lot of garlic and onions in your diet. But garlic is one of the number one natural foods to help cleanse out your arteries and incredible for getting rid of high cholesterol in your body. Number two food here are flax or flax seeds. Now, flax seeds are great because they're high in omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation, but it's also high in both soluble and insoluble fiber. We've all heard this before, but soluble fiber and insoluble fiber, they're good for colon health, but they're also good for the health of your heart. They're good for balancing out insulin levels, so good for blood sugar and diabetes. They're great for weight loss, but also they're really good for heart disease. And so again, flax, and I would also put chia and hemp seeds in that mix, black seeds such as black cumin, but flax seeds are one of the best because they're so high in omegas and they're very, very high in both soluble and insoluble fiber. Again, fiber, great for cleansing the colon, great for heart disease. So with garlic, here's how I would get this in your diet. With garlic, you can use fresh garlic. You can get a mince and mince it up and cook it up with some spinach and sea salt and a little bit of coconut oil, so sauteed spinach and garlic. You can take some garlic as well and use it when making chicken dishes. If you're doing like a lemon basil chicken, you can throw a little bit of garlic in there as well, but it's great with chicken. It's great with vegetables, mixing in also as part of a stir fry. With flax, just do a couple tablespoons every morning as part of a superfood smoothie. You know, a tablespoon of bone broth protein powder or a whole scoop. Some blueberries would be incredible, some flax. So doing a superfood smoothie for breakfast. Number three superfood that's amazing for healing heart disease is olive oil. We know olive oil is really that cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet. And the Mediterranean diet by some is known as sort of the ultimate anti-inflammatory diet. It's very high in omega-3s, very high in healthy fats and whole grains and fish and seafood and olives. But olive oil specifically contains polyphenols. Now, polyphenols are a specific type of antioxidant that have been shown to fight heart disease. And I want to bust this myth as well. A lot of times people think that it is fat and cholesterol that cause heart disease. Here's a myth. You think that eating egg yolks causes heart disease. It doesn't. A lot of people think, oh, well, egg yolks, they contain cholesterol. So if I eat cholesterol, that means that it's going to raise my cholesterol. It's not true. You know what will raise your cholesterol? Sugar. too much sugar in your diet, or foods that cause inflammation. It's sugar. It's omega-6 fats found in grain-fed, genetically modified animals that feed on GMO grains. It's hydrogenated oils such as soybean oil. It's fast foods. It's white flour and white bread products. Those are the things that cause inflammation. Those are the things that cause heart disease. Healthy fats can actually help you fight heart disease. In fact, I would say free-range eggs, and I'm not talking about just the regular conventional store-bought eggs. Those will probably cause higher cholesterol levels, but those dark orange yolks that you get from farm-raised, pasture-raised eggs, those egg yolks contain choline, vitamin E, and other nutrients that actually can reverse cholesterol levels. So here's the truth. Eating fat doesn't make you fat. Eating that right amount of fat can help you burn fat and actually lose weight. And olive oils is one of those fats. Now, I'm not saying you do a cup of olive oil a day, but a couple tablespoons as part of on a salad or part of something you're making is great for your health because of the antioxidants and the monounsaturated fatty acids. So that's the number 3 superfood you should be adding in. Now, number 4 here is one of my favorites. We'll talk about it here right now. But take a minute right now for me. There are millions of people today that are suffering from heart disease. Take a minute right now, punch your share button, click your love button, help me spread the word on how to use food as medicine. I want to take a second here and see if we're getting any questions. Maribel Galvin says, I can't see 8, 9, and 10. Maribel, I'll move over as soon as I hit on number 5 here so you can see the complete other side of the screen here as well. Michelle says, where can I buy good, authentic, real olive oil? If you're looking to buy real olive oil, I don't necessarily have a single brand, but I'll say this. You want to look for one that has the harvest date on it. You want to look for one as well that uses a dark glass container. You want to look for extra virgin, so make sure it's extra virgin olive oil. There is actually a club that has great olive oil. It's called the Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club. So Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club has good olive oils. And then go to your local health food store and ask someone at the register, what is your best olive oil you have? But typically I'll say this, for a big thing of olive oil, it'll cost a minimum of $20 for typically a really, really good olive oil. You typically get what you pay for, but great question there as well. Diana Romero says, is there anything you can do to reverse blockages in your arteries? Yes, there is. I would say, first off, it's more about what you get out of your diet. Get rid of the sugar, the grains, get rid of all that stuff, and then start taking certain supplements. I would take a fish oil supplement. So I would get a lot of, or cod liver oil or a fish roe, but take a lot, probably a double or triple dose of a fish oil supplement. I would also do garlic. You can take a garlic supplement on a daily basis as well. And then also resveratrol is great, which is found in blueberries, which we'll talk about. But I would say the biggest thing as well, do a lot of bone broth, a lot of vegetables, a lot of salads. I mean, really a diet that's really high in plants and also high in omega-3 fatty acids and collagen. That's really important for blood pressure. Collagen is the building blocks of your arteries. So taking a collagen powder supplement or collagen protein or a bone broth powder supplement, bone broth powder every morning. Those are the things I would do, some of the things I would do to start clearing out those arteries. But garlic can absolutely help with that. Anti-inflammatory herbs like turmeric can help with that as well, with actually clearing out the arteries there as well. Great questions, guys. All right, let's jump in and talk about number 4 here, turmeric. Turmeric is one of the most anti-inflammatory herbs on the entire planet, or spices on the planet. And turmeric, that dark orange color, comes from a compound called curcumin, and curcumin has actually been shown to fight cancer, and it's been shown to be more effective than cholesterol drugs at lowering cholesterol. Think about how amazing that is. This was tested, turmeric or curcumin, the compound found in turmeric, and it was shown to be more effective at fighting heart disease than cholesterol-lowering medications. Isn't it crazy today that doctors are prescribing synthetic medications when in fact these herbal supplements are more effective in clinical studies. Why is that? Well, here's why. Harvesting and growing turmeric can sometimes cost a few dollars versus making a cholesterol-lowering medication costs pennies. And so it's all about money with the pharmaceutical industry, unfortunately. So turmeric, again, the cutting-edge medical doctors that are out there today, and chiropractors and osteopaths and nutritionists, they are prescribing turmeric to patients with heart disease, cholesterol issues, blood pressure issues. This is the real medicine that we should be using on a regular basis. But turmeric, I'd recommend 1,000 milligrams a couple times a day. Also, you can look for turmeric essential oil. That's high in the compound called turmerone, which is also greatly anti-inflammatory. So again, turmeric, a great herb to do on a regular basis. And number 5 here are blueberries. Blueberries are one of the most antioxidant-rich foods in the world. Remember what I said earlier. What causes heart disease is when you start getting when you get cholesterol lays down your arteries, and that cholesterol becomes oxidized. Oxidation is caused when you don't have enough antioxidants to eat up that free radicals or protect your body from free radical damage. That's why getting lots of herbs in your diet like turmeric and lots of dark colored fruits like blueberries, they actually protect your body from oxidation and free radical damage. So a cup of blueberries a day can keep your cardiologist away, all right? So remember that tip there. So blueberries, an amazing superfruit that can actually fight heart disease, fight cancer, because it's antioxidant power. And when buying blueberries, I highly recommend going organic. In fact, there are clinical studies showing wild blueberries have 3 times, think about that, 3 times the antioxidants compared to conventional blueberries. So listen, with certain foods, organic, wild grown, or the foods that you buy at your local farmer's market, it is absolutely worth the investment there. Well guys, I'm going to jump into the next 10 here. These are some ones I'm really excited about, some of these specifically to jump into right now. Hey guys, by the way, if you're enjoying this live training, do me a favor right now, punch the love button right now if you're loving this live training and feeding everything we're covering right now as part of this show. Question here from Diana Romero. Hey, how can I follow you? Diane, right now, if you're watching Facebook Live, there should be a subscribe button, so you can punch that subscribe button, so when I'm ever doing Facebook Lives, it'll show up in your live feed, because we're doing pop-ins, myself and my business partner, Jordan Rubin, from all over the place. In fact, I just did a pop-in from New York City. I did another one from Chicago here recently, and just eating out in places we're going. So again, you can simply subscribe here, or go to the Dr. Josh Axe Facebook page and click the like or love button there as well. Question from Karen. She says, I buy wild blueberries and use them in smoothies. You know, frozen berries are also great as well, so don't feel like you have to buy fresh. Frozen wild or organic blueberries are also absolutely fantastic there. Great thought, guys. All right, guys, so let's jump in and talk about number 6 here, rosemary. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Rosemary is an unsung hero. Both rosemary, the herb, and rosemary essential oil. Rosemary contains rosmaric acid as well as alpha-pinene. Both of those compounds are powerful anti-inflammatory compounds that can help reduce inflammation in the body. Now, rosemary is known for being beneficial for many things. Rosemary is a natural hair thickener. Rosemary also blocks a hormone in the body called DHT, which is what causes male pattern baldness, as well as prostate issues. And so if you or someone you love has an inflamed prostate or any type of prostate issue, by far the #1 thing they should be taking is rosemary. Actually, saw palmetto as well. But rosemary and saw palmetto, anybody with a prostate issue or anybody who's getting any sort of balding, rosemary oil, a few drops internally daily, rubbing it into the scalp as well, highly, highly beneficial for the hair. But rosemary is great for that. But also rosemary is great for your arteries. Rosemary, this may surprise you, it's also one of the most antioxidant-rich herbs on the planet. In fact, it's higher in antioxidants than turmeric here, so very, very powerful. So if you're looking at sort of a really strong, powerful 1-2 punch here in terms of herbal remedies, rosemary and turmeric are 2 of the best when it comes to fighting heart disease. And you can do some of the oil You know, you can make chicken at home and throw rosemary in there. It's great with chicken especially, and with vegetables. It's great on lamb and beef as well. So again, look at some rosemary dishes. Start getting more rosemary in your diet on a daily basis. And even using the essential oil, rubbing it on your neck, rubbing it over your heart, using it in diffuser and breathing in those vapors as an essential oil can also help you reap tremendous health benefits. And hey, if you want to kill two birds with one stone, you want to thicken your hair and improve your heart health, simply massage it in your scalp. Do about a teaspoon of olive oil, 10 drops of rosemary oil, rub that into your scalp, and then take a shower about a couple hours later. It's a great thing to do. Number 7 here is salmon. And I want to say this about rosemary oil as well. Rosemary oil is great to do. Little olive oil, rub it on your chest and then get in a shower and take deep breaths in. It's also very good for the respiratory ways, your arterial system. Number 7 is salmon. Now, it's not just salmon, it's wild-caught fish is a key part of the Mediterranean diet and an anti-inflammatory diet. And wild-caught fish such as salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies, wild-caught tuna, you know, fatty fish, these are high in omega-3 fatty acids. They reduce inflammation. These contain a compound. Salmon contains EPA and DHA, which is greatly beneficial. Also, caviar, also known as fish roe, is very high in omega-3 fats. Sablefish, also known as black cod, is really high. So you want to be getting these omega-3 fats in your diet. And if you do have heart disease or know someone who does, they absolutely should be taking an omega-3 supplement every single day. And I take an omega-3 supplement every day that I don't consume wild fish. So if I consume wild-caught fish, I don't typically take it that day, but every day I'm consuming wild salmon or fish, I take an omega-3 supplement to help reduce inflammation in my body. So a great recipe with salmon is doing wild salmon patties. Yesterday I actually had a salad for lunch. I did a salmon fillet over a bed of spinach, which was really delicious as well. So again, wild salmon is great. Speaking of spinach, and actually salmon also contains an antioxidant called astaxanthin, which is incredible for heart health. Number 8 here, by the way, you guys see 10 things listed here. Once I get past 10, I actually have several others. Actually, there's one that's really going to surprise you. I'm going to hit on here as number 11 and 12 that I don't have up here on the screen. Number 8 is spinach. All green leafy vegetables. We know that Grandma always said, eat your greens, right? Greens contain lutein. They contain xanthine. They contain vitamin K. They contain magnesium, calcium. They contain all of these phytonutrients and minerals which really support the health of your heart. If you have heart disease, you absolutely want to be getting green leafy vegetables in your diet on a daily basis. Now, whether it's spinach or kale or collard greens or dandelions or arugula, all of them are great, but spinach is one of the most beneficial for your heart. In spinach specifically, you can do sauteed spinach with some garlic, spinach over a spinach salmon salad or spinach chicken salad. That's a great way to get spinach in your diet. So whether it's raw or cooked, spinach is a fantastic superfood to help you heal heart disease. All right, guys, we're going to jump in here into 9 and 10 and then 11 and 12, which I don't have up here yet. But hey, do me a favor. As I talked about, this is shocking. The #1 killer today in America is heart disease. Isn't that surprising? We hear so much about cancer. We hear so much about diabetes, so much about hormone imbalances and gut issues. And I think when we're younger, the questions that I've taken care of most in my life have been related to digestive disease, hormone imbalance is probably the biggest one, such as hypothyroidism and PCOS and a number of other issues. But along with that, heart disease is huge. So help me spread the message. We are live right now talking about how to heal heart disease. Take a second right now. Punch your share button now on Facebook Live. Let's help spread the word on how to use food as medicine, as an alternative to all of these drugs and medications that are being overprescribed today. All right, we'll see what you guys are saying here as well. Samaj says, I have high blood pressure and was told not to take rosemary because it can raise my blood pressure. Is this true? No, rosemary is not going to raise someone's blood pressure. Rosemary, in fact, actually helps with naturally cleansing the arteries. Now listen, I want to say this. I'm not here to go against what your doctor said. So actually, my advice to you is to follow your doctor's advice, okay? I'm not your doctor. But what I would do is I would go and I would talk and get a second opinion. I will tell you, there are a lot of doctors today who are still living 50 years in the past. A lot of the doctors that are, and I'm not saying it's an age thing, so listen to me. I'm not saying that, hey, if a doctor's in her 60s versus his or her, is 40, that's that 20 years is going to make all the difference. But there's a lot of doctors who they don't read the clinical studies anymore. They're not reading and learning about how turmeric and rosemary and lavender and garlic and these foods have been clinically studied to actually help heal the heart and lower blood pressure and lower cholesterol. So my advice to you is, hey, you know what? Your doctor, hey, if they're a great cutting-edge doctor and maybe they're treating you a little differently than I would, hey, follow their advice. But listen, if you're still under the care of a doctor who is living 50 years in the past and still overprescribing medications for everything, and if here's the key too, if you're under the care of a doctor and they've never prescribed you a supplement or a nutrient in your life, that's a big warning sign that you may not have the best doctor. By the way, if you agree with me right now on Facebook Live, can I get an amen or yes? There are so many doctors today who are not reading clinical studies. They're not up in the latest research. So the only thing they're doing is prescribing medications. They're not prescribing herbs and supplements, vitamins and minerals, and lifestyle changes so people can truly heal their body. They're covering up symptoms, not getting to the root cause. All right, guys, I'll get off my soapbox here right now. Let's jump in and talk about lavender. Now, lavender, let me say this, you can actually consume some of the petals, but in general, lavender oil, you can go online and Google search Dr. Axe lavender oil, and you can see I wrote an article on this recently on the many benefits of lavender oil and how it's been clinically proven to lower high levels of blood pressure. And so one of the things, Samaj, you may want to do or bring to your doctor, if you don't want to do rosemary oil at the very least, make sure you do lavender oil. Lavender oil reduces stress on the body. We know that blood pressure and heart disease, a big part of it, is being under large amounts of emotional stress. It's work-related stress, relational stress. So lavender oil, couple drops, rub it on your temples, rub it on your neck area as well. You can take a little bit, rub it right on the sort of bottom of your nose there. Is a great place to get lavender oil. Use it in a diffuser at your desk. Breathe it in and out. Helps calm the body, helps calm the mind there as well. So again, lavender oil, so many benefits for naturally lowering blood pressure and healing heart disease. And I also love to diffuse this before I go to bed when I sleep at night, helping me get a better night's sleep. But here's my favorite way to use lavender oil. By the way, this is incredible for anybody with high blood pressure. I guarantee this. If you're a person or know someone with high blood pressure, just doing this one thing 3 days a week could radically transform your heart. Take 1 cup of Epsom salts. They're full of magnesium. 20 to 30 drops of lavender oil and soak in a hot tub for 20 minutes 3 nights a week. You're getting magnesium, the relaxation mineral, which actually helps expand the arteries, and you're getting lavender, which does the same thing by reducing stress on the body, doing what I call a healing bath at night with Epsom salts and lavender oil is probably one of the #1 things you can do to fight heart disease, reduce stress, balance hormones, and help naturally lower those high blood pressure levels. It's absolutely fantastic taking a lavender bath. And by the way, chamomile oil also is very beneficial as well, Roman chamomile specifically. Next thing here is pomegranate. Now earlier I talked about the benefits of blueberries and all the antioxidants. Well, pomegranate has very similar benefits in containing ellagic acid as well as flavonoids. So ellagic acid and flavonoids. Pomegranate has actually been promoted as a heart-healthy beverage by consuming pomegranate juice, but I actually believe the pomegranate seeds themselves are even more beneficial because they're lower in sugar and higher in fiber. So getting a pomegranate, I know it can be a little bit of work, but I'm telling you, pomegranate seeds, throwing those on a salad, eating those just, straight up with a spoon or with your hands is fantastic as well. Really, really high in those antioxidant nutrients you want to use on a regular basis. So again, pomegranate is great. All right, guys, in about 30 seconds, I'm going to jump into my bonuses. Okay, some of the bonus things you want to consider taking if you have heart disease as well. But I have one question I want to answer before I do that. Question here from Christine Lassard. She says, what can you do to lower blood sugar levels, specifically type 2 diabetes? Let me say this. Type 2 diabetes and heart disease are actually very they're very closely connected. I'll say that. They're very closely connected. And when your insulin gives off, so insulin is blood sugar. If you get too much sugar in your, that's why they call it blood sugar. There's too much sugar that's staying in your bloodstream. Well, where's your bloodstream? Well, your arteries, right? Your blood, that stream of blood lives in the arteries. If all of that excess sugar is staying in your arteries, first thing it does is causes inflammation of the arterial walls. The second thing it does is it overburdens the pancreas, which can burn out insulin receptor sites, which can cause diabetes over time. So that's why so many people end up having heart disease and diabetes, or diabetes and heart disease over time, is because that inflammation and that insulin imbalance that happens over time. So if you're a person with type 2 diabetes, number one, you've got to get rid of the excess sugar in your diet, and you've really got to lower your grain intake. Get rid of white bread, white pasta, white rice. Get rid of all wheat products. Wheat bread, even whole grain, even stone ground, get rid of all wheat, all white products. Get rid of most grains. You want to consume a diet that's very high in vegetables, moderate amounts, so 1 to 2 servings of berries a day. And that's really that fruit, maybe 1 serving of sprouted grains, but aside from that, it's lots of healthy fats, lots of healthy protein. So doing like a bone broth smoothie for breakfast, a scoop of bone broth powdered protein, some berries and coconut milk for breakfast. For lunch, a big superfood salad with chicken and lots of veggies. For dinner, a big bowl of bone broth soup or a grass-fed burger with some sauteed or steamed spinach. That's what your diet should look like if you've got diabetes. Also taking the supplement chromium picolinate, 200 milligrams 3 times a day, and cinnamon. Those supplements are the most beneficial for fighting diabetes specifically. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump in and talk about my bonuses here. So my bonus herbs and supplements are, number 1, cacao powder or dark chocolate. Here's the thing. It's no fun and no play, okay? So here's the truth, that you can eat great tasting foods and still fight heart disease. Now, when you buy dark chocolate, here's what I want you to do. I want it to be 70% plus dark chocolate, at least 70, at least. Now, 85 is great as well, or 80 or 72, but 70% dark chocolate. Do a square, and when I say a square, do about, like that much, okay? So about the size of maybe like, 2 fingers here. That much dark chocolate. That's how much you can do. Do that once a day. Cacao has been shown to naturally fight heart disease because it is one of the most antioxidant-rich foods on the planet. Second bonus here, magnesium. Taking a magnesium supplement, 500 milligrams a day, is especially good for blood pressure. So magnesium is for blood pressure, 500 milligrams a day. It's also a great remedy for constipation. Another supplement is coenzyme Q10, and I'll say this. If you have ever taken a cholesterol-lowering medication in your life, ever taken a cholesterol-lowering medication, you want to make sure, especially if you're on one now, that you're taking coenzyme Q10. It's CoQ10. You want to take a CoQ10, oftentimes it's also known as ubiquinol, but CoQ10 in a ubiquinol supplement is an absolute must. Typically 100 milligrams twice a day, or a total of 200 milligrams a day of coenzyme Q10 on a daily basis is another must-have supplement. And last but not least is resveratrol. Now, I think you can get plenty of antioxidants if you're doing a lot of blueberries and pomegranate and herbs like turmeric and rosemary. You're going to be getting a lot of antioxidants that way, but you could also do a resveratrol powder as a supplement, or other antioxidants such as a acai berry powder, or a reds or a green, a red like superfood, or a green superfood powder is absolutely fantastic as well. So those are some bonus supplements that can also help heart disease. And last but not least, bonus supplement, bone broth powder or collagen powder. Both bone broth and collagen contain amino acids that help you build strong arterial walls. If you want to patch and repair and heal tissues in your body, you've got to be getting bone broth or collagen in your diet on a daily basis as well. So those are some of the bonus tips I hope you guys enjoy here as well. And by the way, if you guys are enjoying this live training, help me spread food is medicine right now. Take a minute right now, press your share button right now on Facebook Live. Punch that share button right now, or punch the love button as well. Help me spread the word on how to use food as medicine. Question here from Monica. Can you take CoQ10 when you're on a medication? You know, Monica, I would consult your doctor with that, but from all of the things that I've read and all the patients I've worked with and all the other more holistic medical doctors I've worked with, they've still had their patients take CoQ10 when on medications. But again, always consult with your physician with that type of question there as well. All right, another question here from John. Is there a natural way to lower my insulin production? John, it's not about lowering insulin, it's about balancing. Really the key with insulin production is getting, here's what every meal should look like. No sugar. Every meal should have protein, fiber, healthy fat, antioxidants. Okay, write that down. Protein, fiber, healthy fat, and antioxidants. Those should make up all of your meals. When those four things make up your meals, it keeps insulin levels balanced. Really beneficial there for that reason. The other thing I would do for insulin is I would seek out a 5 elements acupuncturist. So I would seek out an acupuncturist who can actually, they can do needling and actually work with your body and actually supporting the body in insulin production. So find a real Chinese medicine acupuncturist who can actually help you with that. Question here from Shay, the question is, what's the best thing for acid reflux? Acid reflux consumes smaller meals, lots of fruits and vegetables. I would take licorice root extract. I would do a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with meals, and I would take digestive enzymes. And then, you know, the other thing would be astragalus. Astragalus is another very beneficial herb for acid reflux as well. So those are some of the things I would do there on a regular basis. And by the way, just Google search. If you're struggling with a condition right now, and I didn't hit on it in today's episode, take a minute right now, just Google search my name, just Google search Dr. Axe, what was the question here? Dr. Axe, acid reflux. And I've got an article online for every condition you can imagine, hypothyroidism or leaky gut or a number of things. Just Google that online, and I have an article that I'm sure will go through that as well, guys. Well, again, guys, I want to say, hey, thanks so much for joining me here today. I've gone through the top 10, actually more like 15, top foods, herbs, and supplements for helping you heal heart disease naturally. As I've talked about, there are millions of people suffering, but if you follow these tips, as I talked about, garlic, flax, olive oil, turmeric, blueberries, and then rosemary, salmon, spinach, lavender, pomegranate, cacao, magnesium, coenzyme Q10. If you can do these things, it's going to help you prevent heart disease, reverse heart disease, heal heart disease, and help you reach your ultimate level of health. Guys, I'll be back at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow Central Standard Time with another powerful Facebook Live. I want to say thanks for watching. This has been Dr. Josh Axe talking about top 10 foods, herbs, and supplements to naturally fight heart disease. I'll see you tomorrow.